Right, moving on, we're going to talk about slope now, and we're talking specifically about linear equations, equations that have a graph that is a straight line. And I have several different equations graphed here. They are the colored lines. Remember, your black lines are the x and y axis. And each one of these colored lines has a different slope. And the slope is just how steep a line is. So let's look at the slope of this purple line. M equals 1/2 means that for every 2 units I go to the right, I go up 1 unit. That this line rises 1 unit and runs 2. It rises 1 unit, rise 1, and runs 2. And we could actually show little stair steps under these lines to indicate that. So you see my rise of 1 and my run of 2. That means that's the steepness of this line. Let's look at the orange line. It says the slope is, M is 3. M stands for slope, by the way. And again, what that means is, I'm going to put a 1 underneath that so you can see what I'm talking about, that for every 1 unit to the right this line travels, it rises 3 units. So the slope is 3 over 1. It rises 3, and I can show that down here too. Rises 3 and runs 1. Rises 3 and runs 1. I can keep making these stair steps with rises of 3 and runs of 1. So this line that has a slope of 3 is much steeper than the line that has a slope of 1/2. If these were stairs, they would be much easier to climb than the stairs underneath this one. Alright? We can also have negative slopes. These two lines have positive slopes because they are slanted upward from left to right. If I write my name on the line, writing from left to right, and my name goes uphill, the slope is positive. But let's look at a line that has a slope that's negative. This line has a slope of -1. If I write my name on the line from left to right, notice my name is slanting downward. That line has a negative slope. And the slope of that line is 1 because as it runs to the right, it drops 1. It drops 1, runs 1, drops 1, runs 1. This line also has a negative slope, -5, and again it's because it drops when we're going from left to right. In this case it drops 5 and it runs 1. Drops 5 and it runs 1. -5 over 1. And finally we have one other type of linear equation that has a slope that's a little different from these other two, and that's this gray line that is just flat horizontal. And as it runs, it doesn't rise at all. So for any for any run, let's say I run 3 units along this line, I rise 0. 0 over 3. If I run 1 unit, like from here to here, I rise 0. So for every time I run any amount, my rise is always 0, so the slope is always 0. 0 divided by anything is 0. So a flat horizontal line has a slope of 0. If we do come across a vertical line, vertical lines, first of all, they're not functions, and their slope is undefined. We would say M equals this symbol, which means undefined. And it's primarily because they're not functions, and also because I don't run at all. I only rise. And notice how the run is on the bottom and the rise is on the top. Well, for instance, if I rise 3 units but run 0, I'd have 3 over 0, and we can't divide by 0, so there's another reason why the slope of a vertical line is undefined.